Hey everybody, welcome to Hit Rewind. I'm Michael and my guest Marilyn is here for a perfect movie marathon where we pick six movies. If we could go back in time and see them when they first came out, what six movies would we see? Say hello to everybody, Marilyn.
Hey, everybody.
Um, so uh, One of the things that I would love to do if I had the chance, besides, living now with my money and going into the past so I can afford food again, um, is having that first experience at the theater with these movies. And I know if I go back in time, I won't have amnesia, so I won't be completely and utterly surprised. But I get to see these things in print, instead of digital and Blu-ray, and get to see it with people around me. I want to experience that kind of thing. Most of the time, I'm not interested in seeing movies I already saw on the big screen, so I didn't choose like Star Trek 4, even though I know it's much, much beloved. I saw it in theaters, so that's kind of my path. And
Oh.
yeah, and you had an interesting concept with how you chose yours. If you want to let the audience.
We're having like a sleepover. Like me, you, and five of our best friends. We're all going to come over. We were going to order a pizza. We have got ice cream in the freezer for later, popcorn, potato chips. What movies would we pick if we only had a stack of films from holiday theater release 1986? For whatever reason, that's what we're limited to.
You're the new release wall at the video store that night.
Yes, exactly. Like I'm picking all the good stuff, but we're not necessarily in a theater in my imagination. As much as I would have loved to have seen these on physical film on a beautiful projector, for whatever reason, my brain built the story more out to be the social setting like you were talking about, but like on a comfy couch.
We had that as when I was growing up. Ours was the movie house because we had a three-car garage that my parents converted into a one-car garage and then this massive living room. And we had
Nice.
couches and picnic tables. If you want to eat there, we had a refrigerator filled with snacks, and we had a big, what we thought was a big screen TV back then was 32 inches. And literally going over to Hometown Video, which was the franchise in town, and dollar movie night. Okay, how many can we get? Started off doing like trashy movies because we love Mystery Science Theater 3000, and then just slowly turned into what's out this week. Let's go check that out and go find it. And I think at times we would have 30 to 40 people stuffed in this garage watching movies.
Oh, how fun. Especially on like a cooler summer night. Crack the garage door open a little bit. Everybody has a chance to kind of crack jokes and relax and be more comfortable than if they would have been potentially having that same kind of gathering, but in a theater where we're all separated by our little theater seats with the cup
Yeah.
holders and
Well, like
especially.
people could go outside and play basketball or have a conversation, and then come back in for the movie if they weren't interested in the one they were watching at that time. We were the alternative, I guess, the safe alternative to the drinking parties that people were having in high school.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. A place where you could kick back and be yourself, but don't necessarily have to succumb to the peer pressure of what's going on with those naughty kids 3 blocks over.
Mind you, I'm sure we all have tapeworms from the uncooked cookie dough that we would eat.
The communal tub.
Oh yeah. Everybody putting their hands in the popcorn. Then there's always that one person you kind of have to side eye look at his hands. Did he wash those?
Uh, yeah, so we're hanging out there. Same idea, uh, based on your prompt, but just a slightly different setting.
All right. So what is the first, like the party warm up movie that you want to start with?
Absolutely. So we're going to get started. We're going to weed out the people who aren't really here for the long haul by getting started with one of my favorite kids' movies of all time, An American Tail.
I was really, really close to picking this, but I had seen this in theaters when I was a kid.
Oh, nice. Okay. Did you pick that at all?
No, it's on my kind of my backup list of movies that were like, well, if this was taken, or I don't know, it was something that sat in my mind. But also, I love Five Goes West more. So if I'm gonna choose one, I think if I ever do 91, I'm gonna choose the second one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad that you said that. I feel comfortable saying the same. I love Five Goes West more. They're both great. They're fun. They both make me cry, but I'm a little bit more partial to Goes West.
The man who plays Fievel's father, Nehemiah Persoff, he used to live right by us, and we used to go to a diner where he went all the time. And I didn't know who he was. No one said a word until way after I moved. And someone just casually says, "Oh yeah, that's the actor Nehemiah Persoff." And I was like looking him up and go, "He was the dad, and you didn't tell me."
Was he in a few episodes of The Twilight Zone? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised. Back then, those character actors did every show, like one episode of everything. Quincy, yes. Twilight Zone, yes. Kojak, yes.
Man, if I could time travel and be an actor, I would be right there with them.
Is this an audition for Night Gallery? Yes.
Yes. Up there, dude.
All right, so
that's how I'm kicking off the night, is with a kids movie.
Yeah, what is it that you connect to so much? Is it the Don Bluth animation, The Heart?
Oh, that's a good question. So my first instinct is because I love rats and mice.
Okay.
I had pet fancy rats as a kid. I've always loved cats as well. And I like the music. The animation is obviously classic. I don't know. I think everything about it is just a really heartwarming, sweet movie. I liked it a lot when I was a kid, but the main draw for me is the anthropomorphic mice.
I can't remember if it was this year or the year before that when we had The Great Mouse Detective. I feel it was the same time.
Those two movies I saw so close together as a small child that for years I couldn't separate them in my brain. It was one of those things where they kind of blend together.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I love that movie as well.
All right, so my first selection is going to be my all-time favorite movie, which I teased earlier when I was messaging you. And look, I get if you roll your eyes at this. Part of it is because I saw it when I was a kid, and just something about the sweetness and silliness of the whole thing amuses me to no end, and that's Three Amigos.
Okay, so Three Amigos is on my list as well.
Okay.
It is my choice number 3. So we've had our pizza and we're kind of just transitioning to goofing off together. I love Three Amigos, so no eye rolls from me on this one.
Good. Every once in a blue moon it'll come up and people are like, "Are you serious?" Like, it's not the greatest movie I've ever seen. I do separate the two. The greatest movie I've ever seen is Road to Perdition, but I don't go back to it the way I do with Three Amigos.
Absolutely. I think of Three Amigos as, well, first of all, the cast is amazing. They're like legitimately funny people. They're in their prime as far as like their pockets of fame, right?
Uh-huh.
But I think of Three Amigos as like a comfort food. Like the best movies ever made or the best comedies ever made are very like highfalutin. You're only having a really nice meal on your birthday a couple times a year, maybe if you're also celebrating with a loved one, but you're eating that junk food or that fast food comfort hamburger regularly, and Three Amigos is one of those kinds of comedies for me.
I love that it's a spoof of Magnificent Seven, but what it kind of does different, and I don't think a lot of people really talk about this, is that the village of people they're going to go save, in quotation marks, turns out they're a lot smarter and craftier. They just didn't have that idea of how to do it, like summing up the gumption to do it in a certain way. So they get these 3 people who they think are real heroes, and they're just lovable doofuses who, when it comes time, they actually do get it together and learn how to protect and have courage and have heart. But it never talks down to the people of the village.
Absolutely not. I would say that it actually does a really good job of making, oh God, what is it? Dusty, Ned, and Lucky?
Yes.
I think. Okay, yeah, woo, go me. It does a good job of making them kind of the butt of the joke, but not necessarily in a mean way, which is also, I think, part of why I like it too, is it's not a mean-spirited comedy.
It's so rare that Chevy Chase played a character who wasn't a jerk. I think that's why people love. I mean, no, even when he's Griswold, when he's Clark Griswold, sometimes he's a jerk. But in this one, he's just a completely sweet, kind of clueless doofus.
Yeah, just a well-meaning, but definitely kind of stupid.
I think my favorite Steve Martin movies are the ones that he had a hand in writing instead of just taking the paycheck.
Is he a writer for this film?
Yeah, I want to say it's him, Randy Newman, and I can't remember who the third person was. Maybe Lorne Michaels. I think he just produced, but I feel like there's 3 writers on this. But if you look at all the movies that kind of stand the test of time with his, even if they weren't a hit, it's always at bare minimum he did the story. And I know some people love like the later stuff he did, like Cheaper by the Dozen, The Pink Panther, Bringing Down the House, but those don't feel like he nurtured those along. It has his voice of sweet goofiness.
Oh, how fun. I'm glad to know that tidbit now, and I absolutely agree. Now that you say that, like, I feel like I can read him and how this story plays out, and some of the lines as well. Potentially improv'd, but also potentially directly written by him, or at least led by him. And it's one of those movies too that I would say is more timeless because of when it takes place, is like the 20s or 30s, right?
Yeah.
But it's filmed and released in the late 80s, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's of either of those time. Like, I haven't watched it in a couple years at this point, but I feel like it's one of those ones where you can sit down and it feels timeless.
Yeah, it helps that none of the jokes are of the moment. And I love the Muppets, but I was watching Muppet Treasure Island, and I go, oh, that's a 1996 joke. That doesn't work. All right, so what is your second film? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, especially if you reference something like very of the time, you immediately date your movie.
Yeah. I think that's the problem with a lot of spoof movies, is they want to be so now, right now, instead of, like, the ones that are not full on like Airplane, those tend to last longer because, I mean, this is in a way a spoof. By not having a joke where you have to look at your parents and go, what did that mean? Well, back in 1986.
Exactly, yeah. More timeless that way.
All right, so what is the second film on your list?
My number 2 is Stand By Me.
So close to choosing that. I was torn on this. I don't know why I didn't choose it exactly. I think because it's not very cinematic. Like, it'll feel the same if I watch it at home as I would on the big screen. So I didn't choose that one, but that is an absolutely magnificent choice.
And in the flow of my films, like, I feel like transitioning from a truly kids movie to a family, borderline adult movie, but about kids, was like a good transition step.
Yeah, it's a good coming of age.
Truly. Thank you. That's a much better term than an adult movie about kids. It's one of my grandmother's favorite movies of all time. So I also had to pop it on there as well because, in memory of Nan, I feel like she would want to join this movie marathon with us. So I figure I better pick one of her favorite movies.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think my grandmother taped this for me because I don't know if we had a VCR at the time, but I know that we didn't record this and someone gave it to me. And they cut off at the beginning, so I wasn't 100% certain what was going on. The whole tail end narrative with Richard Dreyfuss, and all of a sudden he just pops up and like, wait, what's happening? Why is this? Why is this guy here?
It's not very much of a wraparound if you don't get that first part.
No. I've actually been to the town where this was filmed, Brownsville, and I'm not kidding you. You can walk the entire town in 5 minutes. They have one place. They don't even have a gas station. They don't have a shop. They just have one restaurant.
Oh, wow. A real blink if you miss it. Where is that in the country?
So you go down between Corvallis and Eugene. It's right smack dab in the middle of those two, just a little bit off to the left. And I think I was coming back from, I used to work in Oregon, from an electronics convention for my job, and just happened to see that. And there was also the town that Simpsons is made, was named after Springfield, really close together.
How interesting. Okay, so an influential but blink if you miss it area.
Yeah. It's weird that Corey Feldman made two of his biggest hits right in a row in Oregon because the other one's in Astoria.
Oh, what's his other biggest hit?
Well, that and Stand By Me. Wait, did I not say Goonies? I didn't say Goonies. I'm
No,
sorry.
you didn't.
I'm like, wait, what part didn't I say? Yeah, so Goonies, and then he goes back to Oregon 6 months later to shoot Stand By Me, and I'm actually shocked that he didn't just move to Oregon after that.
Right?
Yeah. But I think the first time I saw this movie, it actually traumatized me a little bit because it was the first time I think I knew that kids could die.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were fairly young then the first time you saw it.
Well, here's the weirdest thing. No. I think I was 10, and at this point, I've already seen Conan the Barbarian. I've seen so many other movies where people are dying left and right, but I honestly can't recall another movie where I saw children die. I know I saw Taps really close to this, so both kind of near that time, I was like, oh God, I didn't know people my age could die. What is happening?
Oh, that's wild. What a unpleasant realization, but also how much more effective would the movie have been for that first time for you then, I would think.
When they pulled it, when they see his body and he's just there or whatever, I think my brain kind of caved in on itself. And I think the smart move was the fact that immediately after that, they have Kiefer Sutherland come in and he pulls the knife. And then you really have to question as an audience member, is he going to die?
Yeah.
Yeah, 80s movies used to be ruthless with kids back then. Like, you could die.
I know that there's a lot of controversy around films where an animal dies and when a kid dies, but I have always found it to be, obviously in context, very effective from leading me to feel exactly how the storyteller wants me to feel.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those storytelling devices that gets me every time.
Well, if it's not exploitive, which
yes,
a lot of the times they do that in movies where they kill the dog in like a slasher film. That, oh, we're going to show how tough this killer is. I don't need you to do that. I kind of got it, dude.
Like you're a killer. I'm literally watching a horror movie. You've already killed a girl on the beach or whatever. Like, I don't need this additional proof from you. I think stuff like that is definitely not doesn't help me feel the way the storyteller needs me to feel. Yeah. Because I'm already like, this guy's a bad guy. You don't have to prove that to me. And I think that is just for shock value, which I don't appreciate.
Yeah. It is a surprise that anybody let Rob Reiner do this, because if you look at what he did before this, A Sure Thing and Spinal Tap, how do you get Stand By Me from like, how do you sign off on that, Stephen King?
Do you think that Stephen King gets to choose his directors? I don't know anything about what that process looks like if they're adapting one of his stories, because this was definitely King's famous regular skiing in the powder era, right?
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was like, I think he was just like, give me the paycheck, cool, whatever.
He's like, I need the money. Yeah, feed the habit.
If I remember correctly, I think it was Norman Lear who was shepherding this project before Embassy Pictures shut down. And maybe that's why, because he spent so much time with Rob, so he knew what kind of person he was from doing All in the Family and then producing Spinal Tap and The Sure Thing. Maybe he understood what kind of person he was and that he could pull it off. And then when it got shipped over to Columbia Pictures, they're like, well, we trust Norman Lear. This guy knows what he's doing. So maybe that's how it happened.
Yeah, he had the skills.
My number 2 is Little Shop of Horrors. I want to see this on the big screen so bad. I know it's on stage plays all the time. It's different. I want to see this on 35 millimeter huge screen. I just love this movie so much.
So, confession, I have never seen Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, are you a musical person at all?
Sure. I don't dislike them. It's not my like top tier genre or whatever, but I don't turn my nose up at it. One of my mother and my favorite movies is Grease, so like I will do a musical. It's just one of those things that has never come on, and I haven't sought out. It's been recommended to me several times. There are people who are close to me who think that I would like it, but I've just never seen it.
It's the Jim Henson stamp all over it. So if you're a Muppets fan, if you love Steve Martin, it's filled to the gills with like Saturday Night Live and SCTV kind of guys. It's got unbelievable puppetry work, and the songs are amazing. They're done by Alan Menken, and this is basically his ticket to get hired by Disney for all those classic, of the revival era, sorry, like Little Mermaid and on. And I don't recommend the director's cut. I know everybody's excited by the extremely morbid end, the apocalyptic ending, and I don't care for it. I prefer the theatrical.
Okay, I'm actually going to take note of that because you have, with only a few words, convinced me that I should finally seek it out.
Yeah, it's one of those that actually made me fall in love with theater, and that's what my degree is in. And for whatever reason, I just couldn't get good jobs, good paying jobs. So I graduate with a theater degree, and my choice is, do I eat this week or do I go work at another job and try to get more theater jobs? And it just never happened. So I find myself with a college degree working for the Parks and Rec department because they pay $10 an hour. I need to live.
God, do you remember when we could live on that?
Yeah. Those days where you're like, I can survive on $450. Let me do the math. Ramen noodles, dope. All month long, ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly, and I'll live with a friend on his couch. We're good.
The American dream.
All right, what is number 3 on yours? Oh, that was Three Amigos was yours, right?
Yep, 3 was Three Amigos. Okay, so here's where it gets a little weird. I'm gonna get weird on you.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of films that I have big circles around for the middle of my list.
Okay.
3 was pretty solid, but 4 got a little convoluted in my brain because I was like, okay, what direction do I want to lead my pals in here?
Uh-huh.
So what I think that I will do, if you feel like this is a good plan, is I will save my honorable mentions for the end.
Okay.
Knowing that these were going to be my number 4s, because there's too many. We can only have one number 4.
Yeah. My brain started to cave in on itself as I got to the middle. I've said that too much. I'm sorry. I hate when I catch a phrase. I spent a whole week saying Nimrod because I love the word Nimrod. Apparently this week my brain's caving in.
It got stuck in your mouth, and now it's your catchphrase for this week.
Right in the middle, I'm trying to find stuff that was very unusual that I kind of wanted to see on the big screen, but I'm like, is that good enough? I don't know if that's good enough. This sounds so lame. What if it's not? What if I sound like a loser for picking that one? There's too many good movies during Christmas of '86. It's wild to me. Like I have to
go ahead.
I have to do Winter of 1980 or Christmas of 1980, and I had trouble even doing that list, finding 6 I wanted to see, and then the plethora of choices. Call back to Three Amigos, plethora. Where are we at here? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Okay, so my number 4.
Okay.
All of that to say, I rambled. I apologize. My number 4, Crocodile Dundee.
I have never seen the third one, but apparently it's a nightmare. So I'm just going to pretend there's only 2 of them. Then it's the perfect book. It's the hey, let's go to America, have adventures here. Second one, hey, let's go to Australia and have adventures there. Good, done. We're out.
Yeah, the end. I didn't even know there was a third one. So I'm now gonna have to. I'm gonna do personal double feature. I'm going to give myself a little treat with Little Shop of Horrors, and then I'm going to regret potentially 2 hours of my life with Crocodile Dundee 3. But smack dab in the middle of our marathon here, for whatever reason, everybody's giving me the side eye. They're like, Marilyn, what are you doing, girl? I have picked Crocodile Dundee.
No, if it's 1986, everybody wants to see this movie. This movie made so much insane money. I swear it was in theaters for like a year. And we were Australian crazy at this time. I saw Crocodile Dundee. I know it came out like in October, small limited release, and word of mouth kept building till it went wide. I want to say I saw this as a drive-in in May or June of '87.
Oh, wow. So it really was on screens for a good amount of time.
Yeah, it was the backup feature to Beverly Hills Cop 2. So Paramount was like, let's throw this in because it's going to bring the people. I mean, they're already here for Axel Foley. Let's keep going.
That is an amazing, like, combination, too. Oh, my gosh. How fun.
Oh, yeah. Both are fish out of water movies. I just realized. Yeah. You might be too young to remember this, but we were Australian crazy in the 80s. I don't know what was going on, but we were obsessed.
So I definitely too young to be aware of what people were obsessed with in the 80s, but I still remember in the early 90s that there was a little bit of that, like, Australian outback specific, like, we for whatever reason had a crush on that. It was almost like the new cowboy.
Yeah, and kind of exotic. So, you know, in the 50s and 60s, it was Hawaii. You know, ooh, what exotic location can we go travel to? And then somehow along the way, Australia, like in the late 70s, just started becoming a thing. And with Mel Gibson and the Road Warrior movies and what's the Man from Snowy River, that guy with the batteries that would go, "Oi, I'm Jocko!" And Robin Leach. It was nuts. Just everything was Australia for so long.
God, Robin Leach, man.
I blame him for a lot. So what is it about Crocodile Dundee that made you say, that's my choice right there?
So in the flow of things, I feel like that would have fit well with easing us into the second half of the night after Three Amigos. Like, it's kind of funny, but it's kind of action-y. It's a little weird. It's kind of boring in some places. So now is the time that if you want to get up and walk around and be fidgety, it's a good time to do it. Also, I can't explain why, but Crocodile Dundee reminds me so much of my dad.
Oh.
Paul Hogan reminds me so much of my father.
Was he Australian or did he look like him?
No. Okay, so my dad works outside. He's retired now, but he was a house painter for 4 or 5 decades.
Oh, so he's got the tan.
Tan, blonde hair, sun-bleached eyebrows, fairly trim and lean because he's working outside all day. And he also always carries a big knife and always wears a hat.
Okay.
So I think it's just these visual cues. For whatever reason, the character of Crocodile Dundee reminds me very much of my father. So that's another reason that I picked it for this as well. Like, it's kind of another just comfort.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another one, like when I said Star Trek 4 earlier, that's one of my almost. And it just so much reminds me of my mom because she got me into sci-fi so much. And that was one of those movies that was accessible to everybody. Crocodile Dundee is one of those movies, same studio, completely accessible to everybody. Kids, teens, grown-ups, people with kids, grandparents, everybody can watch Crocodile Dundee, enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's it does a good job of, I don't know if I would say it's a family film, because to me, like, the genre of family film is more like for kids, but adults aren't like having the worst time ever.
Right.
But it is a family film, and like you said, where it speaks to all audiences. There's a little nugget of something for everybody in there. I don't know. Yeah, and also it's so 80s. Like, it is such an 80s movie that I feel like it's very much of its time. And that also fits well into just the spirit of this marathon is if we're only picking things from 86, from the holidays of 86, this is a good encapsulation, a good time capsule of that era in film.
I miss movies actually shot in New York instead of, hey, we got 2 minutes of stabilizing shots to make you think it's New York, and then we have to shoot in Toronto.
Toronto, yes.
I love seeing New York on the big screen, whether it's an exploitation film where it's like, ooh, that's New York, or that mid '80s where they tried to make it, I love New York, and it's a lot glossier.
When they finally started cleaning everything up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's something too that I really appreciate seeing New York, especially as establishing shots and stuff, is the Twin Towers. Every time I see them in a movie now, I'm like, man, I am so glad that I'm watching this right now, and I like have a moment, because that skyline is obviously totally different for multiple reasons, but for a really impactful one for people around our age, is the loss of the Twin Towers.
Yeah, that's it's something that just kind of brings like a whimsical, bittersweet feeling, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that helps, I guess, really establish where we are and when we are.
True. So my number 3 and my number 4, I'm going to go through them real quick because I'm sure you've never heard of them. Sky Bandits is a British film with American actors that I saw a trailer for once on a VHS tape I had, with old episodes of The Voyagers. No one knows what I'm talking about right now. I've never seen this movie available ever. I don't know if it ever came out on VHS. It was the most expensive British production at that time. And it's about these two cowboys who somehow get caught up in this weird cosmic storm and end up in World War I. And they end up helping fight the good, with the English or whatever. And apparently it's really elaborate special effects, but it's boring. I just want to see it. It apparently looks gorgeous. I just want to see it on the big screen just once.
Oh, how cool. Okay. I love that pick. I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen this film. When I was reading our list, when we were starting to pick the movies, I, for a brief moment, thought that this was Time Bandits. And I was like, wait, Time Bandits is called Time Bandits. What is this movie? So, yeah, I had never even heard of it before we were looking at this list. So I think that's a great pick.
And my number 4 is, I'm kind of bringing it down a little bit, kind of going more like drive-in entertainment. One of New Line Cinema's very first original productions. It's Quiet Cool with James Remar, and it's basically a cop goes to the Oregon woods to find out what happened to his family and save this kid from a bunch of drug runners. And it's got really outrageous, campy performances in it. And it's got really good action. It's basically a Western setting inside this tiny, tiny little wood town. And I miss Oregon a lot, so I kind of want to see that. And I thought it'd be pretty cinematic, seeing the big trees of Oregon, in that woods setting or whatever on the big screen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah, another one that I have never seen. I didn't recognize it when we were looking at the list. I didn't really look into it because I was like, okay, if I don't know anything about a movie, I'm not going to pick it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love an action movie, like a gun shooting, dodge around. Maybe we've got a bit of a time where we're planning or booby trapping a space to kind of protect ourselves from the baddie that is potentially coming again after they left or whatever. And so yeah, this seems like it might be one of those kind of movies.
Does.
At the very least, good gunplay.
It has one of those A-Team MacGyver kind of, hey, we're going to cut up this tree, we're going to tie it to wires, we're going to have it, the guy will trip over this and it'll come down and crush him, that kind of stuff. Because it's just two guys against an entire drug lord and his team and a dirty sheriff.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And seeing James Remar as a good guy during this era, that wasn't very often. This is the job he got when he was fired off of Aliens.
Oh my God. Interesting. Okay.
So we are now at number 5. What is your choice for number 5?
Oh gosh. Okay. So this was another one that I really labored over, and I love that when I labor over things, I pick probably what is the silliest. But whatever, we're having fun here, right?
Yep.
So, so my number 5 is From Beyond.
Oh my God. I had this playing on the TV when I was a kid. Not a kid, but like, I think it was late high school. And I just remember my mom walking in and then turning right around. So my mom was, she's really laid back with most stuff. The only movie she ever told me to turn off was Hellraiser. If it wasn't for her, she would just go, "Nope, I'm good. I'm out." And that was From Beyond. I knew from that look, I was like, "Uh-oh. Oh, I'm okay. You're just gonna leave? Cool." What a wild Stuart Gordon film, and he makes a lot of wild movies.
Truly, absolutely. I love From Beyond. I think it's one of my favorite, like, displays of the pinks and purples that have later become more like synonymous with filming a Lovecraft style story. But this was early on, before that was kind of its own genre, and the squishiness and the sliminess and the goopy gelatin that was probably used by the bucketful.
Yeah.
I don't know. This movie is just, it's beautiful and it's gross. And I think it would be so much fun to watch with a group of people, especially after I just made them watch Crocodile Dundee.
I get the feeling some people are going to leave when the Terry Gilliam comes out.
And all the creature effects and just everybody's gross in this movie. There's like, I guess you kind of like a couple of people, but for the most part, everybody's gross. And everything gets real gross, and it's just such a blast. So yeah, From Beyond is my number 5 pick. We're nearing what is probably 11 o'clock at night at this point. People are getting tired. Things are getting silly. Time for a weird horror movie.
I wish that 3D film hadn't collapsed a couple years before this and that Empire gave up on it. Can you imagine this playing in 3D?
There are some parts of this movie that I absolutely see as being just 100% designed for that. When we're up in the attic, right?
Yeah.
And there's the things that are like floating and swimming through space and time in the air, like that, very much imagining that being directly in front of me with my 3D glasses on is such a fun idea.
I wish I had the rights to all that stuff. I kind of wish Charles Band hadn't had his studio taken away from him and just did direct-to-video full moon stuff for a much lower budget, because the ideas he had were always bigger than what he could actually afford.
Yeah.
Yes. Where are we at here? Okay, 5. I'm also going into kind of the realm of otherworldly stuff. I know it's the one that made more money, and I know it's not as good as Big Trouble in Little China, but I still have a lot of fun watching The Golden Child.
Okay, that's another one I've never seen.
It's okay. So the bad part is this is Eddie Murphy cashing in his chips, basically saying, I can do basically whatever I want after Beverly Hills Cop. He takes a crazy idea. He gets a good director, Michael Ritchie, which oddly, I think he actually offered it to John Carpenter first. So it's kind of weird that one ended up choosing the other one. But there are so many times the movie rests on him going, over and over. And you're like, okay, this is like the 16th time. You don't need to keep doing this. We love to laugh, but you're actually kind of overdoing it. But his mystical adventure that includes kung fu fighting and giant demon monsters and traps and puzzles that he has to get through to get his prize. It's almost video game-ish, which I'm shocked there was never a Nintendo game of this, because it's all set up almost as if it's like a platformer.
Oh, how interesting. Okay.
And this is another one of those where I was a kid and my mom's like, you have to see this. This is so much fun. My dad hated anything that wasn't grounded in reality, whereas my mom was a polar opposite. She got me into Big Trouble in Little China, Star Trek, Star Wars. She's the one's like, here's Buckaroo Banzai, stuff like that. If it was weird and otherworldly, she would get it. It was amazing what her taste still stands the test of time, too.
I love that. I love, too, that they were the polar opposites, ideally showing you two different sides of the spectrum, especially in terms of film. Yeah, I love that she wanted you to see this. So I'm assuming that means it's fairly inoffensive in terms of like violence and sexuality.
Well, she does regret a few things, and she would have me turn around.
Oh, okay.
She didn't realize that I could see the reflection in her glasses.
Oh, how funny. Okay. So you're watching the gory parts or whatever, the reflection of the saucy lady
Yeah.
on whatever is behind you while you're quickly shielding your eyes.
Well, I'm always shocked that she didn't just kind of look down, going, "Why are you so intently staring at me?" But she was also like locked in on the movie, so I'd be like, "Oh, there goes a head flying. Oh my God. Oh, and boobies. I get now why I wasn't allowed to see this."
That's so funny. I love that. Okay, so she would be like, turn around, just for like whatever those 3 seconds were or whatever,
Yeah.
and you would turn around, but you would still get to see at least the hint what
Yeah,
was
yeah.
going on.
It's my taste is really bizarre because for my dad it's like, hey, ninja movies, Chuck Norris, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, stuff like that. And then my mom's like, okay, this is another dimension, an alternate to one where you are right now. Or they go into a dream world, and this is Dennis Quaid. He's a really good actor, and he's gonna go in and save the president from this demon. It's Dreamscape. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I love it.
Where are we at now? Oh yeah, what's your fifth? Wait, did you do five? No, what's your sixth?
Okay, so how are we closing out this dream sleepover? 1986. I've already weirded everybody out with From Beyond. So, in true Marilyn fashion, I'm going to keep it going with Blue Velvet.
Oh my God. Wow, way to end the party.
The real ones are hanging on, and we're going to be up all night having a conversation. The ones who have already become uncomfortable during From Beyond are pretending to be asleep during Blue Velvet because they just do not want to have to engage with this over the top deliciousness. So yeah, that is how I am closing out my night.
Every single person that knows me is always shocked when I have an aversion to anything that David Lynch has done because they're like, this sounds like something you'd love. And I'm like, I don't know why it disturbs me so much or frustrates me. I keep trying with Twin Peaks. One day I'll get it, guys. I'll get it. And Mulholland Drive, I was just left with a head scratcher. My sister's like, this is a masterpiece. What's wrong with you? I don't understand. Blue Velvet, it's really good, but every time Dennis Hopper comes on the screen, I'm like, I need to stop. I think I need to cleanse my soul. I'm gonna go watch cartoons or something.
And that is such a testament to how, I don't know, nasty that character is, but how good he is in that character and how well written it is. Because if you got any other feeling from that, then I don't know, maybe you're watching the movie wrong.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is the start of looking at Reagan's suburbia perfect life and saying, no, this is really what's going on? Because I don't recall anything before that, but it became a huge thing afterwards.
Ooh, that's a really good question. So, at least for Lynch, like I feel like he has always had a focus on that, right? But people weren't digesting his stuff before then. So this was like kind of his, well, no, because he did Eraserhead, but that wasn't like widely consumed.
Right.
And then he did The Elephant Man, which wasn't his story. So this was more of like his biggest.
Well, Dune, but it is before this, but again, that's not his. It's just
not
his
story.
version of, yeah. So this is the first time where it's just fully him.
So, wow, you know, I've never thought about, like, did he help bring that take on white picket fence, this is your American life?
Yeah. Well, that and Dennis Hopper also did River's Edge the same year, and both really exposed like this life that had never been shown on screen before.
And River's Edge is in like my top 50 favorite films of all time. I don't know why. So my aunt Patricia showed me a bunch of movies when I was like the summer between my 12th and my 13th birthday, and all of David Lynch's filmography up to that point were part of the movies that she showed me. River's Edge, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, a bunch of David Cronenberg movies. Like, she was like, I'm gonna get weird.
Okay.
You're a teenager now. I'm gonna show you a bunch of weird shit. So so she introduced me to both David Lynch and David Cronenberg, who ended up becoming two of my favorite directors of all time. But she was very much a product of her time. She was a hippie. She thought about joining Greenpeace for a long time. She thought when she was a little girl that she was going to grow up and be a nun and move to a convent and only interact with other women and be married to God. So she has a very interesting life story that brought her to loving movies as much as she did. And I'm so thankful for that and for her introducing me to movies like Blue Velvet, because I think it helped to twist me in a way that I wasn't bending before, because I grew up on my mother who loves horror films and my grandmother who loves true crime and action, but I never really got any of like the artsy weird stuff until my Aunt Patricia was like, I'm going to show you movies.
Yeah, I have that with my uncle. He would just tape. He had Cinemax. And yes, there's lots of like Shannon Tweed exploitation kind of crap on there. But also they're the ones showing like, okay, so this is Adam Agoyan. This is Hal Hartley, Greg Araki, like all these films. Like, he would just give them to me. Did I get them all at the time? No, not really. But they would sit with me and I would think about them. And some I would revisit. I realized that I like film noir. You know, I loved Blood Simple. I love Red Rock West. And those are movies that he introduced me to, were those kind of like more challenging independent films.
That's so awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Just thank goodness we have the family member who just recorded everything that came on the TV, on the extended cable channels that could potentially be cool.
In SLP, so you could fit 3 to a tape.
I'll never forget the first time I tried to record a movie and totally messed that up. I think, what was I recording? Killer Clowns in Outer Space. I was like, ooh, I'm going to record this. And I put it on the, like, more not high definition, because it was a VHS tape, but the more, like, roomy requirement one, and it didn't even record more than half the movie.
Yeah, so I think it was confusing because I think SP was 2 hours. LP was 4 hours. SLP is 6 hours. And you're like, wait, no, hold on. The order is what again? And so, like, yeah, you think you were getting something really high quality, but you thought maybe SLP was the wrong thing. So you end up getting like the grainiest picture you can possibly get, or vice versa. Oh man, I got 45 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, what the heck happens at the end?
Yeah. Oh boy. So my sixth and final film is actually a movie I saw at the very first movie party I ever had, with my best friends that I still have all these years later. This was 1991, or no, 92. We rented Highlander 2: The Quickening. I had not seen the other ones, so I had no clue what was the first one. I have no idea what was going on. And The Wraith with Charlie Sheen. I know it's found its audience now, but back then nobody knew what we were talking about.
That is so great. So that was one of my honorable mentions. It potentially was going to take Crocodile Dundee's place. I absolutely love The Wraith, and I think that is a really fun, like, kind of get you pumped up way to end your night.
Yeah, it's got great heavy metal. Well, that's weird. I just realized I picked 2 movies with a Nick Cassavetes performance where he's chewing the scenery. The other one was Quiet Cool. And I love that car. I mean, it's just so magnificent to watch on screen. It's got cool car crashes, but it also has that otherworldly element that I like. I love the fact that they didn't play it up as like I'm a serial killer coming back from the dead. He does it in a totally different way and kind of standoffish. You know, he doesn't really come to them, you know, and kill them with his hands. But Well, my brain fart. I don't know. I don't remember what I was going to say now. I don't know where I was going with. Oh, uh, do you watch The Wraith and go, oh my God, this is so similar to The Crow? Like felt like there almost had to be an inspiration when he was doing The Crow beyond just telling his tragic story. It seemed like that was kind of like oh, well, I can do a revenge story kind of like that.
How interesting. Okay, so I have not had like that exact thought, but in thinking of it now, the story flow is very similar, and the forms of revenge and the kind of bad guys that we're taking revenge against have like similar, like snotty wannabe punk rock dirty weirdo
Yeah.
elements to them, and the sympathetic good guys like drive his aim, right?
Yeah, and law enforcement on the hunt trying to figure out what's going on.
Interesting. Next time I watch either of those movies, I'll think about the other one and kind of start to see if I can make those connections in my brain to see like how inspired do they feel.
Yeah, I'll say The Crow is a better film. It's much more grounded in emotional weight, whereas The Wraith is just there to entertain you. I I don't know if it was intentional, but I laugh so much with half of the villains are so unbelievably ridiculous. I just uh not Ron Howard, Clint Howard. Again, every time he shows up during the 80s, he basically steals the movie with a wacko performance.
He is great. He's one of those fabulous character actors that because he is so good, I have a crush on him. I'm like, this guy rules. But he's like never a character that like I would actually want to crush on. And I'm sure he's a lovely person in real life, but just who he is as his characters is always kind of like a silly guy or a gross guy. Like I don't think he ever has had the distinct displeasure of being the like hot background guy or whatever, right? But I cannot explain why, other than he's just so talented at being gross that for whatever reason I have decided Clint Howard is totally crushable.
I guess that's a good way to end this episode. That's the takeaway. Clint Howard, underrated in so many ways. All right, anything else you want to say before? I don't know if we go that far, but hey, everybody's got their type. Anything else you want to say about? Oh yeah, your honorable mentions. Yes, before we go.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so The Wraith was one. Solar Babies was the other one that could have potentially replaced Crocodile Dundee.
I have seen Solar Babies probably 15 times. Only once as an adult. Every time else was on a VHS tape my uncle gave me. Okay, sometimes he had bad taste. He gave me Howard the Duck and this on a tape. And I'm still not sure what Solar Babies is about, even after seeing it all those times.
Well, I mean, isn't it about skating?
I guess, but that's like what. Oh my god! I just forgot the same thing. I have the same problem with Xanadu. Yeah, it has skating in it too, but I'm not sure exactly what it's about. I've seen that a bunch too.
It's that. We don't need to think that deeply into it. Solar Babies and Xanadu are about skating.
In the future.
What we thought the future was going to be.
Can you imagine someone time traveling from 1986 to now? Why isn't everybody on rollerblades? What is happening? Why are you on your phones?
Where are all the crystals and cool hairdos?
No glowing orbs? Arr!
I was promised orbs.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing your list with everybody. I had a fun time talking about movies in 1986. What a wonderful year. And anything you want to plug before you go?
Nope, this has been a blast. I really appreciate you having me on, and I can't wait to have a conversation about some random 90s year with you at some point in the future.
Yes, there's so many great years. I didn't realize how movies escalated over the years. Looking at the chart for, like I said, the first episode I did in 1980, I only had like 14, 15 movies to choose from. I'm doing summer of 98 with my sister. I think there was 175 choices, and that's insane.
Oh my gosh, I assumed that all of the lists were capped at like the 50 biggest grossing movies of that season.
No,
so it's interesting that it's not capped.
Because it's any movie that made money. It's like if it played on two screens, it made $5,000. It's on that list. Who knows? You might find something amazing there.
We were really releasing a lot of movies then. As time went on, more and more were coming out.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening, and thank you for being such a wonderful guest.
Thanks for having me.